For today's Relax With Me, I'm opening with a smudge stick. I chose Palo Santo. There was some pine tree resin that melted onto the Palo Santo as well, so it's a nice aromatic mix I'm experiencing in this video now. While of course you don't have to read what I'm reading, I open the floor to pick up a book that you've been neglecting or just your current monthly read and take a moment to center in wherever you are, whatever space you find yourself in. As a lot of you know, I recently quit smoking, and in times of craving smoking, I decided to turn to my smudge tools, being incense, Palo Santo, sage, and things similar. However, when the cravings were becoming extremely intense, I decided to really dissect what is a smudge tool. So I picked up this book called Sacred Smoke by Harvest McCampbell. I found this book in Little 5 Points. The store is called Turtle Trading Post, and they have a large selection of Native American books as well as handmade items from smudge tools to bags and clothes, even shoes. As I saw this book, I decided to go ahead and pick it up and dig deeper into that urge of learning about sacred smoke. So far, I have not read much. I'm still in the beginning, as you can see, and I may or may not update you all on my studies with this. I just figured it's something I would share simply because I know some people I interact with have tried to quit smoking and haven't really found the connection to their separation. And I suggest looking into other forms of smoke and understanding what smoke is and does for you, as well as, of course, as we all know, oral fixations, fully understanding why we desire what we desire and what void we're filling with that action. So, maybe it might help you, maybe it might not. I know every time I picked up this book, instead of reaching to smoke or even digging deeper into that craving to smoke, I felt better. So basically it helped me, maybe it'll help you. As you're ready, slowly put away your book and prepare to join me in yoga practice if you'd like. I'm opening up with a reverse plank at the moment, rocking back and forth on my ankles and wrists, raising my glutes and lifting each leg one at a time to awaken my body into motion. I'm gonna gradually begin to rock my body into a sage twist. And this pose is a seated forward fold with one leg bent, and you're gonna cross your hands and arms behind your back so that way you can add in a spinal twist. After I feel loose in my spine, I'm just gonna drop my knee and continue that forward fold, first holding onto my ankle and gradually moving to the top of my foot or the middle of my foot, whatever is most comfortable. And I will lift my chest and fall back again in order to deepen that stretch. From here, I'm gonna rock onto my other leg and make sure I balance that stretch out for both sides of my body. I incorporated some leg raises as well on each leg and foot. Twirling my body to a standing position, I immediately sink into a wide leg stretch, twisting my feet out to really deepen my stance. In order to find my groove in this position, I'm bending my elbows and slightly bending my knees before I walk my hands back through my legs and reach my ears through my knees. Continuing to rock back and forth, I bring my hands and arms back to the front of my body before reaching to one side and deepening that stretch. This position is considered a triangle. There are different variations of this pose. Right now, I'm showing a couple. Before I go to the other side of my body and continue a triangle pose there. Slowly dropping my body to the ground, I bring myself into a wide leg pose, a seated wide angle pose, and rock forward so I can deepen my hips, so I can deepen the stretch in my hips. Of course, I'm going to bend my knees a bit as well before I switch into a cobbler's pose. I'm putting pressure through my elbows to my knees to again deepen my hip stretch. While I'm continuing this cobbler pose, I start to bring my arms into large circles like a bird flapping their wings and flying away. I'm just opening up my chest, my shoulders, and my back, and twisting from side to side. Before I rock to a standing position and open my body into a pyramid. While I'm in pyramid, I just rock and walk my feet to a forward fold before jumping into a plank, and repeating this process about 3 times. And now after the final plank, I lift my body into a cobra and allow myself to reach out of that cobra by rounding my spine backwards and forwards. From child's pose and back into pyramid, where I pedal my feet some more and really deepen that stretch in my hamstring. Closing in the gap a bit, we're in a semi-open forward fold before lifting a leg and raising it to the sky as much as possible, and being gentle with wherever we are in our journeys. Incorporating a calf stretch by bending the knee all together and bringing our heels to our glutes. Of course, doing the same with the other leg. Now I'm gently rocking myself up to a standing position. And once I'm standing, I start to twirl my neck loosely in some small and big circles, letting my ears guide how deep the circle travels, and being sure to reverse this twist before shaking my head no towards my shoulder, imagining that my nose is tapping against my own shoulder, and repeating to the other side. Moving back down to those shoulders, I'm doing large shoulder circles backwards and then forwards before I completely open my body to full shoulder rotator cuff circles. This exercise I was taught by my friend, and it helps with mobility. So I'm simply making almost semicircles with my shoulder by bringing my hand up to the sky, and once it reaches the top point, twirling it to turn it towards the back of me, and then ricocheting that motion right back forward and repeating the process. Once I've done a couple of those on each side, I just open my body up to return back to a triangle pose. So my feet are in a wide-legged position, and I'm just dropping my base arm down and turning my nose to the sky to follow the elbow of the raised arm before I sink into a huge sumo squat. Readjust as necessary. After some deep breaths, I'm slowly rising to standing. Once I'm standing, I'm actually going to find my way down to the ground and enter into child's pose. Really grounding myself here because I'm preparing my body to enter into a headstand. Once I'm in this headstand, I'm just shaking my legs out, feeling the balance, practicing my weight distribution. So I like to twist my ankles and trying to create wave patterns with my legs before I allow my body to fall out of that pose. Now I'm just stretching my wrist out as well as my ankles and toes. So you'll see me sitting on my toes on one foot and the other knee is propped up on their toes. And I reverse this position while still stretching out my wrists by pulling my fingers back towards my body with my palm facing out. Next, I'm doing more wrist stretches by pointing my fingers towards my knees and dropping my both knees to the ground while I sit on my heels and let my toes feel the pressure of my body weight. Now continuing that toe stretch, I'm leaning back and my fingertips are reaching for my heels while I open my chest to the sky. Gently, I'm removing my toes from that pressure point and simply sitting on my heels while I rub my shoulders out, giving myself a little hug. And this is also referred to as camel pose. I'm rolling my shoulders again and lifting my shoulders up with my bridged hands and using shoulder rolls while my hands are also bridged, rocking side to side, and eventually creating large circles with my chest and reversing those circles. As a small recovery, I just brought my elbows to face each other as well as my palms facing each other and bringing that to my crown before I move into cross-legged position Currently, I am just breathing in all of the intentions I would like to carry on throughout my day. I'm giving thanks for the practice that I've just had and the knowledge that was shared with me through the book that I've read. I'm acknowledging everything I hear and feel around me, the sun on my skin, the wind on my body, the shirt on my chest, and the scarf on my head. Eventually, I bring my focus to my breath and allow myself to just remember how to breathe by myself. I'm just allowing myself to remember how to breathe manually. We're going to slowly wake our body up by wiggling our toes and moving comfortably away from this seated position. If you brought out a smudge tool for this practice, now is a great time to pull it out and close your circle of meditation. Thank you so much for relaxing with me today. I'll see you next time.